Hello, my friends. Best greetings from Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine. My name is Victor Fursov. I'm a research entomologist, beekeeper, and teacher. That's why I'm keeping in my hands this special net. This special net is not for collecting fish. That's not for fishing. And I'm not a fishing man. I'm insects man. I'm studying entomology. Entomology is briefly saying insectology. It's devoted to these insects, like here on this poster. These tiny insects are flying around in the air. They're pretty invisible because they're very tiny. Most of people in the world, all just common people, they do not worry about insects. But actually, people do not worry about animals and do not worry about birds and do not worry about themselves. But entomologists, they are studying insects because this is a great part of nature. And that's why I'm keeping butterfly net. You might say beetle's net, which you can use for collecting. As entomologists, actually saying for sweeping, because we are moving this butterfly net one way, another way, one way, another way. I'm sweeping. I'm sending you best greetings from Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine, and making this stream just in unusual time, just to start stream in time, little bit early because we have lockdowns. We don't have electricity for a long time. That's why I tried to catch the opportunity, try to catch this time to show you a little bit more about nature, about insects, about my channel as well, to attract more people to my channel on big channel in the internet. I'm translating through my computer and through smartphone as well on this and other social media. So join my channel so we can be talking about your insects in your country. You can be talking about insects in my country, because this is channel, as you understood, from Kyiv, capital of Ukraine. I'm not translating this video from Spain, not from France, not from Germany, not from Ireland, not from United Kingdom, not from London, by the way. I'm Kyiv. I'm trying to collect insects in my collection because I keep here just some jars, some drawings, some boxes with insects. I have here on my knees here books about insects, about entomology. And today we'll be talking about entomology as science about insects. That's why I'm interacting your attention to have more, not insects, but more people on this channel. Surprisingly, morning time. Hello, good morning. I'm trying to make this video in English to attract more people from other countries, maybe from Australia, maybe from New Zealand, maybe from Southeast Asia, or United Kingdom or United States. So far, so good. I try also to find some new features. Well. Try to make some moderation. Microphone is working. Yeah, we don't need to make my mirror. Yes, I wanted to make some additional features. Someone is asking about ants. Ants, I guess maybe 10,000 species in the world. I do not keep insects in my collection. I have only limited number of insects in collection. Mostly I'm talking about parasitic wasps because I'm studying parasitic wasps. I'm collecting them with my butterfly net. I'm collecting them with different special traps. I'm using not only butterfly net, I'm using emergence traps. So that's why I'm trying to receive living insects for study, to breed them, to rear them from different hosts, because parasitic insects were developing on other insects. These are tiny insects. They're parasitoids. Parasitoids, these are insects which are eating, feeding on another insects. So we're developing on another insect, not as adults, but as a larvae. So that's why we're can be beneficial entomophagous insects like egg parasitoids, larval parasitoids, pupal parasitoids, or sometimes even adult parasitoids. They're Hymenoptera insects, Hymenoptera order. These insects on this poster, not very big, they're quite small, from 1 millimeter size up to 5 millimeters. Some others, like in superfamily Ichneumonidae, can be bigger, but I'm studying this very funny. They're called superfamily Calcid wasps, Calcididae. My family, which I'm studying more in details, Trichogrammatidea. Someone asking about Antarctic. No, parasitic wasps are not invaded Antarctic. Only some diptera, some flies, are living in Antarctic. Only one species of insects, holometabolous insects, diptera, fly insects in Antarctic. I hope one day I can show you just my original photographs of this insect, because I have colleagues who visited Antarctic. Not Antarctic. Yes, Antarctic, not Arctic. Don't forget, not to the north, but the south. Ukrainian expedition is changing every 2 times, every 2 years. So that's why every 2 years, Antarctic station are receiving new stuff. And my friend, who is just entomologist, who is zoologist, he visited station, Vernadsky station, Vernadsky Ukrainian station, and spent 2 Antarctic stages. So he lived in Antarctic 4 years. 4 years? Not 4 years. Not 4 years. I'm 2 years. 2 years. It's 2 years is good enough. 2 years. Two periods. Because expedition just usually just for 1 year. It's a well-paid expedition, but nevertheless the condition in Antarctic is pretty hard. But today we are talking not about Antarctic, about cold places. We are talking about some tropical places. Because if majority of people thinking about entomologist, they're thinking about people who is collecting butterflies. Some butterflies you don't need to collect, so you can order catalog. There are some companies which are collecting insects. So you can buy these insects from the catalog. Sometimes it's quite convenient, you don't need to visit another country. And in some cases, these catalogs are proposing some insects officially. In some insects from catalogs, they're officially bred. So they officially have been rearing. So because many insects is possible to collect in the nature officially, but sometimes they are collected unofficially. That's why some companies may have licenses. And if some companies are breeding insects in the nature. Of course, some making it illegally as well, but we can lose license. That's why some species here not rare, at least company trying to collect some insects which are distributed in a large number to receive more orders and to have official license for sale. I do not sell any insects, so I do not like it. I do not like to buy insects, but I like to show the insects. Someone is asking, I'm 25 years old and started to learn entomology. Thank you for your job. Hello from Kazakhstan. Hello to Kazakhstan. Thank you. I do understand. In some cases, people are thinking that entomology, this is a kind of hobby to make some kind of stuff. Yes, some people are doing it, but this is just a one copy which I have on my shelves, just because I received it as a gift from my friend. And I collected this butterfly, this moth myself. This is oak silk moth, which I brought to Ukraine from China. Yes, this is a Chinese species. Some people are making these crafts and sell it, but I don't like this business. I don't like this business because it means to collect insects in large numbers and to destroy their population, and possible that this population will be diminishing, reduced, and number of specimens can be reduced as well. Yes, I can show you just insects in collection and insects in books. But nevertheless, sometimes you can buy scientific books like this butterfly world about butterflies, or some atlases of insects can be also useful. This atlas of pests. In the atlas of pests, you can find different insects, drawings insects, or photographs insects. They can be useful, pretty useful for identification, because entomologists are doing not only collecting. Collecting is important for identification, because in hands and under the microscope you can see details of these insects, details of these true bugs. These are true bugs, the green one, these are true bugs. Or just beetles like this, scarabid beetles, ground beetles. All these scarab beetles, which are pests of agriculture and forestry in Ukraine. Some of them are feeding on some agricultural crops, like these scarabs. Or some of them, some larvae are feeding on potato. These are click beetles, family Elateridae. Or just some of them can be dangerous as seed beetles like this one. These are seed beetles. Chrysomelidae or Bruchinae. Or just can be beneficial like some Coccinellidae beetles. Ladybugs. Ladybugs can be beneficial majority because they are feeding on aphids. Some Chrysomelid beetles are dangerous pests. They are feeding on many agricultural crops. So you can see here green plants with all holes. So they are damaged by many Chrysomelid beetles. Someone asking, each insect is difficult to describe because each insect has a strong and interesting morphology. Describing morphology, we can show details of structure of different insects. Every insect has a special construction and belonging to different orders, like order Hymenoptera, order Coleoptera, order Diptera, and many others. To recognize insects, to study them, you need to use not only atlases. In atlases, insects are not described in many details, very briefly, with short stories. You need to use books like this book. Yes, I show you the name. Need to make a mirror. You need to use good books, good English books, good American books. This book published in States, I guess so. Essential Entomology. Essential Entomology, which means general entomology. So you need to try to find English books. And now it's quite easy. It's quite easy to find book. How would you say how to buy book easy? You can order it through internet. You can order it from internet from American company, from European company, or something like transitional company. Even from Japan, you can order books on entomology because Japanese books on entomology are very colorful, especially some atlases and photo atlases. Next time I show you just Japanese book about entomology, but this one is also quite useful because here in Essential Entomology textbook or guidebook, many orders are described in detail, so I will read them about details about them next time, and pictures are quite good, very nice in details, white and black, and pictures in colors here. Even just white and black pictures are given in details. So structure of all orders, all insects are given here in details. I show you. You see here mantids, predaceous insects. Usually I'm talking about big insects like wasps. Wasps are quite big because you know hornets and wasps were quite big. From 1 millimeter, well, not 1 millimeter, 1 millimeter, this is parasitic wasps. But these are predaceous wasps of genus Vespa or family Vespidae. This is a hornet. Hornet is a big one, about 3 centimeters, 30 millimeters, up to maybe 35 millimeters or 40 millimeters, the biggest giant hornet in Japan and China. Vespa mandarina, dangerous invasive species which came to some places in Southeast Asia and even to United States a couple of years ago, but was isolated. But some insects are quite small. They're parasitic insects. Like this insect is very, very tiny. Can you recognize here? This is not a wasp. This is parasitic wasp. This is not a bee. This is a tiny microscopic creature. This is tiny microscopic creature by a white tiny microscope because the size is the same as this infusoria. One cellular organism, infusoria. That's why this one, tiny microscopic insect of genus Megaphragma, will not sting you. Will not sting you because this insect is very tiny. 0.25 millimeters, 0.25, 25 millimeters. Quarter of millimeter, 0.2 millimeters. Very, very tiny. This microscopic insect is named Megaphragma, which has the same size as one cellular organism, Infusoria, or one cellular organism. This is amoeba, very funny Infusoria as well. Even smaller than Infusoria, smaller than amoeba. 0.2 millimeters microscopic insect genus Megaphragma, but this insect has the same structure like a bee, same morphology with details of antennae, head, legs, abdomen, and wings. This insect, 0.2 millimeters, can fly in the air. Tiny microscopic insect which are flying in the air like plankton and even using these wings for movement. This insect can use and using these tiny wings with hairs, with setae, for swimming in the air, like in the water, flapping by wings. So this is like a tiny drone flapping by wings in the air, like in the water, like boat flapping in the water. This tiny microscopic insect of 0.2 millimeters using wings for swimming in the air. Very interesting. And this is a parasitoid of thrips, egg parasitoid of thrips, 0.2 millimeters. The smallest, the microscopiest insect in the world of parasitoids. And it's possible to collect it if you collect eggs of parasitoids in leaves, in stems, or sometimes thrips or the thrips can lay eggs on plants or inside stems or inside leaves. So it's difficult to collect it, but sometimes possible to collect it even using method of yellow pen traps. So if you fill this plate, this trap with water, with shampoo and with salt, put it on the ground, put it on the stones somewhere around. So here will be water with detergent. Insects are flying and drawing inside, jumping inside the water like to flower. Some insects are attracted by yellow pen traps, so Merrick traps. It's called Merrick traps. So insects are flying, and just jumping inside the water and dying inside the water. So possible to collect insects together with water, then clean water using tiny. When you collect insects in the water in traps, when you use aquarium net with very tiny mesh, put here water with insects, clean it under the water stream by clean water, and then put it inside plastic containers for storage in alcohol. Release it to the alcohol. So insects collected in the water with detergent can be saved in can be selected, sorted, cleaned, and then saved in ethanol, 96% or 70% ethanol, and then can be useful, then can be used for identification, because most of these tiny insects, just on my big background, were studied under the microscope, under the high magnification of microscope, up to 100, 400, or even just 1,000 times strong magnification. And these are hornet, these are big wasps. You can collect these wasps as a pest in your garden, but if they are living in orchard, they can be dangerous because they can be eating sometimes your fruits, or just can collect and destroy some of your bees. So that's why beekeepers, they don't like them. But if they are living in a forest, they are natural predators. They are predaceous insects. So that's why they're called, they're beneficial. Family Vespidae, genus Vespa. Some species are invasive and dangerous because they can suppress natural population of insects in new area. An invasive species of hornet in Europe, this is Vespa velutina. Vespa velutina, yellow-legged hornet. Vespa velutina, which is actually has a dark color despite yellow legs. Vespa velutina is a dangerous species in Europe, and even came a couple of years ago to state Georgia and neighboring states in United States of America. So even came to United States of America, and Vespa velutina, yellow-legged hornet, came to New Zealand. Strange, because quarantine inspection in New Zealand is working very well, so it was prevented, but still maybe some escaped and made a nest in beautiful nature of New Zealand. So this was the first case this year when Vespa velutina came to New Zealand. Strange, dangerous for native species of insects, for native species of another animals, because this Vespa velutina, yellow-legged hornet, is a dangerous pest of honeybees, destroying honeybees in 80% of its diet. And there are some scientific publications that this species are distributed in Europe very quickly. Now this species has been recorded in the United Kingdom, in Belgium, in Netherlands, in Italy. It was found in Portugal, in Spain, completely invaded France, came to United Kingdom through English Channel from time to time. Even more than 100 individuals, 100 specimens have been collected this year in Britain and destroyed. But to find nest, quite difficult, because nest is hidden somewhere in the nature. What do you mean nest? Because these hornets, they're social insects. And I have social nests here in my laboratory. Yes, yes, yes. I have a nest here. Not with hornet. Not with hornets. Hornets are not here. Hornets also in collection. But I have a nest. And this is the nest of hornet, but not Vespa velutina. fortunately. Vespa velutina still didn't come to Ukraine, have not been recorded in Ukraine, fortunately. But there are some publications that this species has the opportunity and possibility and climate preferences, and so could come to Ukraine, to southern areas of Ukraine, Vespa velutina, and also western areas, to Carpathian region, to Crimea region, and to south areas of Ukraine. And these are paper wasps hornets, Vespa crabra, European hornet. And this is a nest of Vespa crabra. These are foundation. Pieces of nest. Yes, pieces of nest, because nest is considered to be several of these pieces. These are larvae. They made here this very special white cocoons, silk cocoons. And here with some holes, just I put some larvae out of them. But here some larvae died inside because they pupated and they could come to outside, just here only in the central part. Insects, hornets emerged, but here they didn't emerge, just only maybe one. I collected in August. In August, mostly coming individuals. These are drones. Drones are not dangerous, but here drones, queens, and workers came from these cocoons. But here nobody didn't come because the adults and larvae died inside. So inside only dried larvae. So that's why I'm keeping it very carefully in container, in closed container, because larvae is a great food for pests, for dermestid beetles. If I put it outside like that, some dermestid beetles will come to the smell, because they're smelling not very well. They're smelling like insects. Some people can say they smell awfully. This is original, but nevertheless, it's fine. Here you can see here, I took off larvae out of this foundation. And foundation is done not from wax, paper wax. Wasps were not doing wax foundation. We're doing it from paper. So they're done from cellulose. So some of them open. I took insects out. And these are not open, only in the central part. You see. Here in center, some hornets emerged from here, from these cells. And all these white cells, they are closed, and inside there are a lot of dead pupae. So you see here they are inside. They're making noise. Some other paper was making very small foundations, very small nest, like that, very tiny, but this is Polistes. And you see here, this is a Vespa. Vespa is bigger 3-4 times. And this is upper side of the nest with some special construction because it was attached to the roof. It was attached to the roof and closed this envelope with some paper as well. And see here, these are open cells, open cocoons. Inside larvae, pupa, and sometimes even adults of hornets. But now this is just for exposition, to show it for this collection for students, and to show it for internet, because people know that hornets and paper wasps dangerous. Yellow jackets are dangerous because they're stinging, and it's true. And it's difficult to collect them because you need to have special equipment. And without equipment, without plastic clothes, without beekeeping equipment, beekeeping clothes, without special gloves and plastic suit, I do not advise you to take the part in the destroying of